Good afternoon, everybody. Hi, how are you all? I'm Judy. I'm one of the expert tutors here at E2 Language, and welcome to my live class this Sunday afternoon. Hope everybody's feeling well and have been enjoying their Sunday, or if it's morning for you, that you're going to have a great Sunday. Welcome also to all the people who've joined us on YouTube today. It's really great always to have you, but don't forget, watching on YouTube is fine, but I can't answer any of your questions. You can chat among yourselves on YouTube, but for me, it's difficult. So if any of you are watching on YouTube would like to join E2 Language for free, then you can join the free class and actually take part online. So it depends on what you want to do, but we'd love to have you as members of E2 Language. And we've got live classes for free every single day of the week, just one per day. I'm right, might be one day there's a couple, but those are the free ones. For the paying members, of course, we've got live classes all the time. But as a free member, if you want to move from YouTube to E2 Language, you've got time to do it now, and then you can chat on our chat line and take part in the lesson, as all the good people at E2 Language already do. I'm going to greet a few. We've got here Srilima, good afternoon. Yes, I'm just thinking, if you want to sort of chat with your other students, let's say co-students, put on the chat line all panelists and attendees. I have a lot of people who connect, perhaps they're looking for speaking partners and things like that. It's good fun. We're all together. And we've got Kesha, hello to you. Destiny, oh, lots of new people today. Karen, good afternoon. Marciel, lovely to have you. Alaba, lovely to have you too. Hi. Annalisa, good morning, good afternoon, my darling. It was fun. We had our mini mock test this morning, didn't we? Zoe, hi to you. And Philip, Sunibala, good afternoon. And Reggie, oh, you're in Melbourne, Reggie. Okay. Pokila, Jorinda, good morning good morning to you in the UK. Asena, Abdallah, Jasmine, Ahmed, Omar, good afternoon to you too. Marilla Bonile, oh, that's too long. Good morning, everyone, anyway, to you. MP, Rose, Keen, Victor, right. Rajesh, Vivian, and Jarina. Hi, everybody. I'm sure there's other people, and Wing, hi to you too. You know, there's other people, of course, online now, and we will have a chance to, you know, share things. This is one of the greatest things that we can share, and you can join. It's with E2 World. It's a 20-second video using your phone. We have talked about it before because it was part of the competition in the power package, but someone won that prize. But anybody that sends their video, 20-second video, will get a $10 voucher, which you can use to, you know, add to whatever, any of your packages, you know, to upgrade whatever. So they want you to say where you're located. So I'm Judy from Perth, Western Australia. But the more important is, how does E2 make you feel connected? Everybody feels connected in another way, and that's why we want to hear about it. And we're going to put them all together, and it's going to be, you know, used. Well, I'm not sure. We're going to play it, and everybody will have their chance of saying how they feel about E2 Language. So have a go, everybody. There's the links. You can send it to help@E2 Language. There is the e2language.com E2 World video upload. That you can see that. But even if you go to E2 World, very easy to find out how to upload it. There's lots of ways. Instagram, Facebook. So because we're talking about writing, just wanted to tell you about our writing packages. We've got the writing intensive, which is 2 writing feedback letters. You get high quality exam like case notes and the full comprehensive score report and a teacher's feedback. So those who've perhaps done the mini mock test, there you just get feedback with the score. Whereas this and the other writing assessments we do in our tutorials, they are all, let's say, not corrected, but all your mistakes are highlighted, plus the other. So it's a little bit different to the way it's done for the mini mock test, which is done as it's done as a test. But you do at least get the feedback. I wish they'd do that for the exam. Wouldn't that be better? And then you'd know if you didn't do well, what you didn't do well in. But that's what we do. And it's going to make a big difference to any, anything that, you want to do. But the best way of preparing, of course, is to get a package with a couple of tutorials. You can get 1, 2, or 3 tutorials. You get the mini mock test included for free, and you get 45-minute session together with the tutor. I mean, someone like me, you probably know the other tutors. We're all available at some time during the day, and it's your turn to usually we discuss the writing that you've done in your assessment. So that's quite intense, that bit, if it's something you want to focus on. We do speaking practice. We'll even talk about listening and reading, whatever you need, and you get the answers to all your questions. So it's very, very useful. And then there's the mini mock test, where you've got the OET test, but a little bit shorter. Okay, so the writing is exactly the same. The mock speaking test, you only do the 1 speaking, and then we've got reading and listening too. So it's like the test, it's all online, but apart from the speaking. So that's about it in a nutshell. I've done my spruiking for the day, but let's get on to business. So what we're going to do today, as usual, we're going to talk about a few aspects of grammar, and then we're going to test them. We're going to learn a method for completing the writing task. We're going to spend quite a bit of time, well, you guys are, analyzing the task, and then based on that, selecting the relevant case notes. We need to work on planning our writing. Then we write the start, which we're talking about the address and the salutation. Today, we're going to focus on the secondary issue and other details paragraphs. So let's say not the top one, but the second and the final, well, not the final paragraph, the paragraph before your request. Okay, that's saying if you've got 5 paragraphs, you might have 6. There's no worry about how many paragraphs you have. We're going to look at the model letter, and then we're going to check out some of the other criteria that are important in your writing, and then just quickly run over what we've learned with a quiz there. So let's quickly get going with our grammar section. I'm going to say this once again. We've got lots of new people here, so I think it's important. I'm sorry for the people who've heard my spiel before about the tenses. Still find people getting them a little bit wrong, especially the simple present, mixing up with the present continuous. So the simple present is something we use when we're making a statement about somebody or something. Mr. Lin urgently requires your expert assistance. So it's just a statement. We're just saying something. But another very important use of the simple present is when we're talking about something that happens regularly, frequently, we use that tense also. Whereas the present continuous, we use what we're talking about, what's going on now, like Mrs. Adams is currently receiving treatment. Okay, so it's what's happening as we speak, of course, but also what's going on around this time for a temporary time. Okay, so anything that's permanent, that's true, is the simple present. But the present continuous has that other aspect that, it might not be going on as we speak, but it's something that's happening around this time. over this sort of period. Then we've got the present perfect, another sort of dodgy one really. Miss Smith has been treated with cold compression therapy. Of course, here we have it in the passive voice. But what we use it for is talking about something that's happened in the past, but we don't know when it happened. And we're not probably interested. We just want to know that it's happened. And we also use it when we talk about something that's happened in the past, but also seems to have an effect on the moment, you know, on now. So that's connection. That's what we call it, the present perfect. Then we have the present perfect continuous, which is sort of the same type of thing. Mrs. Tran has been undertaking therapy, but we use it to emphasize for how long it's been going on or since when. And we also use it to emphasize something that is sort of repeated, let's say, frequently. Yeah, so we might say Mrs. Tran has been undertaking treatment every day for the last 2 weeks, that sort of thing. So there's a reason why we use it. It's to make that emphasis of the sort of time aspect of things. And then we've got the simple past, very important tense. Something happened in the past, but here, different to the present perfect, we know when it's happened or when it happened. It's finished and we know it's when. That's the sort of different aspect. So we've got dates, we've got reference to time, even things like on admission, it's going to be in the past tense. So they're some of the most frequent ones we use in the present, in the OET writing. Okay, now let's go on to our quiz. So we've got 60 seconds. I'm going to open the chat line. I can get myself out of the way. There we go. And look for, oh, I've got a few latecomers. Gopika, hi. And Margarita, Omar, and Sharp 201. You've already started. How can I join in? Omar, you just put your answers on to the chat line. Okay, and I see you've got all panelists and attendees. I'm the panelist, so otherwise your answers are only coming to me. If you want to share it with the whole crowd, you can put and attendees. Okay, and then we can be, you know, more connected. So Srilima, lovely, everybody. Choose one of the answers from the 3 that are there. That's all you need to do. And pop them in the chat line. Definitely. So, thanks, Keisha. Abdallah, Sharp 201. Kokila, good. MP. Well done, Srilima. She's forging ahead. I know some people wait to put them all up together. Okay, Philip, well done. Oh, Edita, that's nice. Here we go. Lovely to have you with us. I can't remember everybody who's been on before or people who haven't, but you know, sometimes I do. So anybody who I didn't say, well, welcome for the first time, it's because, you know, I got them mixed up. But let's have a quick look at our answers. So the nurse admitted, all right, it's what she did, that she had never seen such an aggressive case of shingles in someone so young. Now, this is another tense, we didn't talk about it, the past perfect. So we're referring to something that happened before the past. That's the past perfect, before the past. So before she admitted, she had never seen this aggressive case. Now, not for the first time have we been forced to reschedule the date of this operation. Strange sentence, but anyway. We underestimated how much of an impact the antiretrovirals, I think I've said it right, would have on her autoimmune system. So we underestimated how much of an impact they would have. Okay, so here we've got the modal verb would, would have. Okay, now here we've got a question, again following the modal verb. So it's not the present tense, it's in fact the infinitive. Could you put your shoulders here, lift your arms above your head, and be sure to lie still until I finish the scan? So they look like the infinitive, they don't have the to, because they're followed from this modal verb could. Like would, we have the have. All right. So that's it, everybody. Lots and lots of answers. Just quickly have a look. Adora said number 4. Well, okay, why use would? Okay, so what happened, what we've got there, we've got a situation in the past test, in the tense, in the past, because we underestimated how much they would have. So we're sort of working on not so much a prediction, really. Okay, so if it was today, we're saying, I wonder how much of an impact they will have on the autoimmune system. That's now, but we're talking about the past, so the will becomes would. Okay, look, not used, well, I mean, it is used in that way, but probably wouldn't need it for your writing so much. So that's just like, you know, a bit of exercise effort. So thanks everybody for taking part. Now, let's go back to the beginning of the writing test and what we need to focus on, what it asks us to do. So one of the key things we need to do, of course, and we've got 5 minutes to do it, is to read and analyze the task. Then we also need to read and analyze the case notes. Then one of the tasks is going to be writing a letter of referral. It might be a letter of discharge or one of transfer. Okay, you can see that it's all written in the writing task. It will tell you the type of letter that you're writing. So in our 5-minute reading time, we're not allowed to write, no pencils, nothing, pens. So we need to think and work very diligently. So we determine who we will write to and what action they should take. That's in the task. We read the case notes. We need to understand the key features, the key facts about the condition. Now, it's useful also to look at the discharge plan with that, because that gives us a little bit more insight to what our final letter needs to be focused on, needs to focus on. They've got headings and subheadings as a guide, so very useful to keep your thoughts clear. And then we need to identify relevant information and also think about how relevant it is. Is it highly relevant, quite relevant? And that's going to make a difference to where you place them in your letter. Then we've got all that in our mind. We can pick up our pens and we're going to write a plan. What we think is going to go into that main issue paragraph. And then the secondary, the other, I mean, you might have another paragraph. There's no limit to how many paragraphs you want, you can use. And then we get on writing carefully. Each paragraph has one main idea. And then, okay, it says up to 35 minutes. You should also leave 5 minutes. Now, don't forget, although the word count is a little bit flexible, you should be able to do that task within 180 to 200 words. Okay, it's not life and death, definitely. I've seen a lot of people cutting out key issues because of the word count. Now, the word count is important, one, because in theory, that's been the task that's been prepared by the OET English team and medical team together, that to get the information that is needed to your reader concisely and not excluding any relevant information, you can do it within 180 to 200 words. You understand? Otherwise, it's going to, there's the two issues. Either you've included irrelevant information, or you've used things, you've written it too wordy. You've used too many words to say something simple. Okay? It's a business letter. We need to be very user-friendly. We need to be short, smart, concise, to the point. Okay? Minimalistic. That's the word. So we analyze that little task. Who are we writing to? What action they should take? What key information they need? And what prior knowledge, if any, they have of the patient. Then we read the case notes and we need to determine which ones are relevant for our letter today, which ones are repeated and need to be blended together, let's say, and which ones, of course, are irrelevant and are not useful for our reader. They might have been useful for you, or they would have been useful for you because you wrote the task, you wrote the notes, they're nurses' notes or doctor's notes, but you've written because they are important to you. But you've got to pick and choose the ones that are important exclusively to the person you're writing to. Okay, so this is so important, that person we're writing to. Now, here we've got a letter, and we've got the task of a letter. Just have a quick look at all the chats there. Oh, well, Sharp has just put up, are parts of a letter same for any type of letters? Of course. Your introduction's probably going to be different. For example, in a discharge letter, what would differ from a referral letter? Well, it's the whole idea. They might be discharged back home, but they might be discharged back into the, the care of somebody. Whereas a referral, we've had an issue and we need to go more to a specialist. So that's a sort of a different idea. They are, we do have some ones that aren't referral, but I don't, because I don't have different ones, probably one of the different things, of course, would be the introduction. I'm writing to discharge this patient. I'm writing to transfer this patient, and I'm writing to refer this patient. That's one of the key differences. All right. But it's just the idea that you've been looking after this patient and they need to go and see a specialist. All right. When we have a discharge letter that you've been looking after them, they're probably going to go home, they're being discharged, and you're probably writing to, say, the GP or somebody else who's going to follow up their care. With a transfer letter, they're being transferred from your care to, say, another person's care or another institution, let's say. But here we've got just a referral letter. I'm not going to say anything, but it's up to you. Who are we writing to? What action do I want that person to take? Okay, in the task, it's very generic. What does the reader need to know? And what does the reader, if anything, already know about our patient? So we've got a minute, and I'm going to be looking at the chat line. So any answers, more than happy that you put them there. Victor, there's no penalty. That's interesting. Victor said, is there a penalty if you go over the word limit? Now, the issue is, as I said, there's no tick the box, they've used too many words. No. But you've got other two issues there. One, that you might have included irrelevant information, and two, you haven't written concisely. So there you're going to lose marks. All right, but not because you've used too many words. They have another effect. All right, so great, Philip, thank you very much, everybody. Thanks, Wing. Definitely no prior knowledge. My pleasure, Victor. Vivian, well done. Beautiful. Yes, Rose, lovely. Recent goes with the C, recent. Yes. Fantastic, everybody. I said it, beautiful, Kesha. Thank you, everybody. So, who am I writing to? Yes. Oh, dietitian. What action do I want the dietitian to take? Provide appropriate care. Okay. What does the reader need to know? Well, of course, the patient's needs and the patient's current situation, of course. And what does your reader already know? Well, usually, what I would say always, in a referral, no prior knowledge. It might be a situation when you're writing a referral to a particular specialist for a different thing, you know? So it might happen, but usually the reader doesn't know anything, has never met that patient before. So what we've got to talk about, and this is what I was talking about, Victor, we've got the content. So if the content is not appropriate, okay, that's one thing. If the key information is included, no important details missing, okay, that's if you've got, let's say, too much or not enough information, then you will probably have too few words. But this is also very, very important, the conciseness. So there no irrelevant information included. And the information is summarized effectively and presented clearly. This plays an important role about the numbers. So the content that you haven't, that you've included the key information, that you haven't cluttered it up with irrelevant information, which also belongs there. So it belongs in two things. And now when you think about this, 14 marks for those two categories. So it's quite important, okay? But there is not one criteria that says about the number of words, yeah? It's all down to other things that create that number. Now, what we've got here is our case notes. You're a registered nurse on the medical ward. So you've been looking after our patient, Janet. Okay, now here's the task right down there. We know the task. One thing that's always important when you're selecting the case notes is to think about the discharge plan and where it's going, let's say, what it's focusing on. That does help quite a bit about which things are relevant and which things are irrelevant. We've also got which things perhaps are repeated. So I've got the chat line open for anybody who would like to. So we always, Kesha, that's interesting. Kesha's asking about the date. Darling, the date would always be the date of your exam. So if these were notes, the exam would be on the 16th of January. All right. Abdullah, a black screen. Oh, something's going on wrong with your computer, Abdullah, yeah? Go out and come back in again, darling. Perhaps that's going to help you. Thanks, Philip. Yes, we can see it. And Phoebe. Oh, Phoebe, lovely to have you. That's the name of my son's cat. There we go. Brilliant, Rose. That's a good start. Because don't forget, we're writing to a dietitian. So it's all about what she basically puts in her mouth. Whether it's fluid or food, that's what the dietitian is going to think. Although, you know, they have mentioned in the discharge plan about exercise. So you need to think about that. So with this letter, we would write the 16th of January. So we write the date of the discharge or the date of the transfer. which will always be the date of the exam. Exactly, Omar. Yes, definitely. It's usually 2 pages, but we put it like that so it fits nicely on our screen. Good job, everybody. Thanks, Maricel. That's lovely. Definitely. Yes, you focused very well, everybody. I can see a really good understanding and filtering. Kokila, great. Ahmed, definitely. Nil means none, Abdullah. So your voice, my voice is gone. Omar, now that's not, that's my voice is, oh, no, my voice is here. I'm not here yet. I will come back. Definitely. Good. I get worried when things happen to people. Yes. Ahmed, lovely. Kesha, good. Yeah. So this is the 5 minutes you would have reading, where you can't write anything. So it's good to feel how long that 5 minutes is, really. There's a lot of things in the OET that's 5 minutes, the speaking, the 5 minutes reading time. Yeah. So get that feeling what 5 minutes is. It's not long enough. Wow, Wing, very nice. Okay, definitely. Ahmed, yes. I think. The fact that that's a good one, Gopika. That's the good one. She has lost 2.6 kilograms. Very interesting. Everybody, that's time's up. Well, Vivian just made a question. What actually do you read? Well, as we said, Vivian, very important to read the writing task. Unfortunately, you can't underline things. But anyway, who am I writing to? And what am I supposed to do? Then I would head to the discharge plan. Think, okay, so we want the person to do A, B, C, D, depending on how many things. Then category by category, thinking which things, what happened, what's instigated this need with our patient that we have to write to the dietitian. Exactly. We can write numbers. They prefer numbers. Numbers are easier to read. We want user-friendly work. Definitely, you're right, Philip. So that's interesting. Think about, we've got a large discharge plan here. So that's going to take up quite a few of your words. So that means really, then there's not a huge amount from the rest. Okay, so the bare essentials. Yeah, get that balance, get that feeling as you're reading it. All right, so I've got that. Oh, and then we've got the relevant things, and then we've got the repeated. Well, I mean, repeated things that have been talked about earlier. We've got the hypertension, and then we've got all about the blood pressure. We've got the alcohol consumption, and then we've got in blue in the discharge plan all about the need to reduce the alcohol. We've got in the discharge plan also in blue about the BP monitoring situation. Okay, and then also about the ACE inhibitors. So that sort of thing. But otherwise, we've got her name and address, her name and her age, a little bit, nothing much about the family. Well, is she active? Definitely. We haven't written, they haven't put in red the wine per day, which should be the high red meat and low vegetable diet. Yes. As far as history, that she's lost a couple of kilos recently, got the medications for the hypertension, but what happened on admission, that she was dizzy and all those sorts of things. Her BMI is high, her blood pressure, I suppose that's high. Yeah. You know, she hasn't been looking after herself. All right. So let's have a little look about what we're going to do. And in fact, what we've got to be very careful in OET writing and speaking, really, that each time everything is different. Don't have a pattern, think I'm going to do this, 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 and this because it worked for the last one, it's going to work for this one. Definitely not. Make sure that you realize each time it's different, and you've got to plan your letter that matches what you have to do, what the notes are, what your situation is. So there's lots and lots of things that you need to be careful. Thanks everybody for helping out there, Philip. Very Australian answer though, no worries, mate. Dear me, well done. So as we said today, we're going to talk about those secondary issue paragraph and the other details paragraphs. Okay, we're going to have the main issue, but it's all those other things we need to collect together. So as we do our planning, we need to address this recipient. That's an outline. We talk about being flexible, but the address and the salutation is pretty strict. Keep it right, keep it exact. And the final salutation, yours sincerely. We need to take notes and make a plan. Think about how many paragraphs and what's going to go into each one. And then as we start writing, we need to keep on checking the relevance and the importance and leave a few minutes to check your work at the end. Yes. So here is our letter outline. We have the recipient's full name. We have her job title, and then we have the address. Notice no punctuation. We use the test date, which is usually the discharge date. Okay. Then we've got the patient's name, her full title, her full name, and the date of birth in this case. Depends on what you are given. But if you're given the date of birth, in fact, it's the age. If you're given the date of birth, you are not to work out how old she is. It's not your job. You just leave the date of birth and the recipient can work out how old she is. Okay, and then we go back to dear, just the title and the family name, not the full name. And at the end, we have yours sincerely. Okay, so here we've jumped ahead and we've got Mrs. Janet Fagan, who's 63 years old. So I'm going to open the chat line, everybody. Abdullah, in English, we don't use punctuation after the Mr. and Mrs. And you can see in here But if you feel comfortable using it, it certainly you will not get marked against that. Sharp, I'll be back. We'll see the notes in a sec. Okay, so 90 seconds, everybody, to have a go. Remember, Abdullah, doctor is a D with a small R, not a capital R. All right, DR, always. So, well, Mrs. Janet Fagan is the name. So anyway, let's start, Ahmed, with the recipient's name and address. And Mrs. Janet Fagan is our patient. Well done. Asena, beautiful. They don't get them mixed up. I have seen them mixed up many a time, actually. Yes, here we don't have a clinic name or a hospital name. So it's just the number of the street. You can, Lidiko, you can. Much better to say that than saying she's an alcoholic or a heavy drinker. They don't want you to put labels on people. They want you to use the information. Heavy for you might be different from somebody else. We need data. We have data, we use it. Oh yeah. You didn't know, Lidiko, you didn't know that you'd won. Ah, they should have emailed you. You got the $50 voucher, I think. So I'll be seeing you in a tutorial, I hope. Yes. Oh, that's terrible, Lidiko. Well, luckily I'm around with a big mouth. Oh yeah, I was so happy that we had one of my students winning, that I knew them. Well, you know me. Yeah. All right. Mary patronis. Anyway, good. Everybody doing a super job. Yours sincerely. Lovely, lovely. Ah, Razor. Hi, darling. How are things in Albany today? Yes, you joined us a bit late. Sneaked in at the back of the class. Beautiful. Guys, that's fantastic work. I really, Karuna, beautiful. I know, Rise. Yes, I know. Ah, Amelia. Amelia, be careful, darling. Yours sincerely is a small s. Okay, so time is up there. Let's have a look how it should be done. We've got Miss Mary Patronis, dietitian, 48 Main Road, Old Town. All right, then we have a gap. We put the date in numbers, much better. We can put the date right at the top if you feel like it. We've got Re, don't forget it's a small e. Mrs. Janet Fagan, 63 years old. Dear Miss Patronis. Now that can also come down here. So you can put it below if you like. I should put the sign on. And then yours sincerely. Okay, they're still coming through madly. Okay, good. Now let's have a look at our letter. What we're going to do today. So we need to decide how many paragraphs. I mean, usually it's sort of about 5. We've got the purpose paragraph, main, secondary issue, other issues, and then the request paragraph. So, but we can also have 6 if you want to sort of break things up more. There's no person saying to you, you can't. I wouldn't go less than 5 because then it's just too bulked up, you know, and it's not clear enough. We need space, we need white. So it makes it easier to read. And, you know, you organize the paragraphs with different issues. So the main issue has been covered, of course, but what are the other issues and the other details? So here are the notes again from all those ones. All right, which ones would you say don't will belong to those second and third paragraphs. Oh, that's interesting. Next week, sharp. Very interesting you said that. I hope you're not taking the exam on Saturday. If you're taking the exam on Saturday, sharp, and you haven't seen that one, go back to some of the recorded ones, because there's 10 in the cycle, and so we do really touch on all of them twice when you think about it. There's 5 paragraphs, and we've got 10 lessons. So, yeah. Oh, Razor. Saturday, beautiful. Definitely, Karuna. Karuna says, oh, I didn't do that. Don't worry, I'm going to stop it in a second after I've just had a chat. Someone said, if we don't have the name of the recipient, we can write Dear Sir stroke Madam, for sure. You can also write Dear Doctor, is a very good one. That doesn't go, depends who you're writing to, of course. If you're writing to a nurse in a care home or something, or the supervisor, you can use their title. Oh, I'm glad some people are having their exam next Saturday. Oh, well, I don't know if any of you remember Victoria. She has been with us. She is a doctor, but she wrote to me the other day because she came back to our speaking class. Remember, a couple of Wednesdays today, she got 3 B's and an A. She's on cloud 9, but she's stuck where she is. But wasn't a brilliant result? And I told her I would tell everybody. Yes, but so she wrote to me the other day, and I'm just so thrilled for her. Guys, you can do it. George, anybody would like to have a tutorial personally with me? I'm available, let's say 12 hours a day, really. Well, let's say 10 hours a day. Perth time, so it depends where you live. And I'm quite free, lots of hours available. But what happens if you book and you get your tutorial and it's not with me? Then you just write to help@E2 Language to the helpline and say, I would like to have a tutorial with Judy on, say, Monday, the 25th of June, whatever date it is, and they will tell you my available hours. Okay, or if you just say next week, they'll say Judy's available these hours. All right, because perhaps the reason I didn't come out was already somebody had booked. But especially the week coming when there's exam, I'm always available as much as possible. Okay, so that's my job here, to be available for you guys, All right, Sharp. Well, you can talk to me, Sharp, in a one-to-one tutorial, darling. That's the best way. Okay. Razor, for sure, if you feel sometimes having a tutorial just before the exam, say a day or two beforehand, can give you that extra confidence, You might think, don't forget everybody, probably Tuesday, the OET Facebook page, Rebecca will be, she always has her Q&A before the exam. It's usually Tuesday before the exam. So that's on the OET Facebook page. I think it's the only place you can catch it. I'm not sure if you can catch it on the OET YouTube channel, but I know it's on Facebook. Well worth listening to her, taking part, asking her questions, because she knows. And what I know because of her. Well, one of the things is I listen to it every time and pick up everything she says. All right. Omar. Now, Omar said, how can someone evaluate our writing paragraphs? That is an issue. Now, we're going to write a paragraph. I will work and read them as quickly as possible. But it's very different to really looking at them and talking to them. Oh, thanks, Reg. Thanks, Reggie. No, someone already. Yeah, Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so work it out, your time. So the best way to evaluate writing is in a tutorial. There's no other way. And I say that each time, and it's well worth it. Not the E2 Language Facebook, the OET Facebook is Rebecca. We have lots of things on our blog and all that sort of stuff, plenty of things going on. All right, let's move on because otherwise I'm going to drive people crazy. So here we've got our notes, the ones that we put, and there you see, we're talking about the wine. The wine's there, the meat's there, a little bit about her exercise, her BMI's there. Okay, the medical progress, the past medical history, and part of the discharge plan. Okay, so that's the planning notes. Now, we have got to do 2 paragraphs. Other things, some useful language, the diet consists of, or her diet, in fact, in order to, needs to reduce, would benefit from, making a hypothesis, she would benefit from. Okay, so what's really reported speech? Now, it's your turn. So we need to cut these up into 2 paragraphs. Oopsie. 2 short ones, they're there. I'm not going to give you 7 minutes. I think it's far too long. Everybody will go away. But I'm going to give you 5 minutes. So have a go. I'm going to open the chat line and read them. Oh, what happened to it? There it is. Oh, wait. It's just not working today. It's jumping ahead. Let's try. Oh, it's going. That's why. The color is dark and I couldn't tell. Yes, everybody. So the quicker people put their, you can do 1 paragraph at a time, which will help me read them. Think about what you would split up into the secondary issue. So things that are probably a little bit more important for the dietitian than other things. Other details probably be about, let's say, her exercise, I would think. So try and get 1 paragraph at a time up. So I'm not stuck reading, you know, lots and lots of them. I think that's probably the best idea. Oh, lovely. Thanks, Common. That's the, we're not reading, I'm not doing the introduction one. Come on. I'm not reading those. It looks quite good though. Don't worry though, but wing. Yes, we focus on what we're doing. Wing, we probably need to write, although she has recently been on a diet. Okay. I would probably keep the country walks and all that sort of stuff with the exercise bit, Wing. Don't think that we've got the other one. We're talking about the diet. Don't put exercise in, all right? I wouldn't Again, we're not allowed to categorize things. So we wouldn't say an unhealthy diet habit. She has a diet of, okay. So again, we're not allowed to, let's say, inverted commas, criticize things. Okay. George, not bad. Yes, Razor, don't mix the country walks with her diet, darling. That's why we've got 2 paragraphs. Okay, it's difficult because we've got a lot of information, but it needed to be cut up. What's the country walks got to do? Well, I mean, okay, on the weekends, drinking wine, but the wine is daily. Yes, it might be in the notes there, but it doesn't mean you've got to stick them in the same paragraph, okay? Yes, so in fact, Razor, there you should have put it in 2 separate ones. Okay, so that bit of a mess, to tell you the truth, Kokila. She used to. What's she used to, Kokila? That's not English verb. Okay. Remember what I said? Simple present. We talk about what someone does on a regular basis. So she goes on country walks. She goes. She takes. Used to means something we did in the past and we don't do anymore. Right. So don't use used to at all because nobody knows how to use it. Okay. So don't use it. The 2 paragraphs. So Omar, as I was just saying, we could focus 1 on the food and 2 on the, the hobbies, the exercise. Okay. Oh, Lidiko, welcome back though. Okay, so a few issues. Remember, we are dealing with 2 paragraphs, not 1. And I think it's the most logic. Okay, for sure, we're writing to a dietitian, so her focus is more about the food. However, part of that whole weight loss and this is also about the Mrs. Fagan's exercise. Okay. Lovely, Lindico. Good one. Good one. Okay. Well, because of one's food and one's exercise, really. Okay. Not Mr. Petron, it's Mrs. Fagan, Kesha. All right. Yes, Mrs. Kesha's BMI was. All right. We wouldn't put tolerate, no. Yeah, she drinks. Guys, don't use weird and wonderful language. Use normal language. She agrees to reduce. Kesha. Few issues there, my darling. Yeah, it would be worth Kesha getting a couple of tutorials to really improve your writing. Okay, Fesni, you've put it all in 1 paragraph, but yeah, it sort of works. It sort of works. Okay, good. Ahmed's done the 1st paragraph. And there, come on, guys. Oh, Wing's done the whole thing. Oh, so anybody, now let's just get going here. Mrs. Fagan has a BMI of 20. We talk about facts. Remember we were talking about we don't need lots of fancy stuff and things and, introductory stuff. We want to keep it clear, direct, to the point. Mrs. Fagan has a BMI of 29.9. Okay. Although she recently dieted and lost 2.6 kilograms and regularly goes on walks on weekends. Okay, they put it there, actually. because we're talking about the positive things that she's been trying to do. Okay, as I said, there's different ways of organizing it. She drinks 5 to 6 glasses of red wine per day, and her diet consists mainly of red meat rather than vegetables. Facts, facts, facts. In order to achieve her ideal weight of 66 kilos and BP of 130/90, Mrs. Fagan will need to reduce her alcohol intake and maintain a low-fat diet. She would also benefit from 30 minutes of daily exercise. Okay, they've mixed them up from 15 to 30, but everybody has their way. And that's the whole thing. Everybody sees things in different ways. See the large request paragraph here. Let's see the whole letter. So, thank you for your assistance in the care of Mrs. Fagan. Okay, she hasn't done it with I'm writing to refer. You don't need to. Okay. Who requires ongoing dietary and lifestyle modifications. So we mentioned the two. We've got the dietary and the lifestyle. In that introductory paragraph, we need to have it like generic in a way. We need to sort of pick up the idea. She was admitted on that day with uncontrolled hypertension. So what's wrong with Mrs. Fagan? What we want from our person. Mrs. Fagan presented to the emergency department feeling dizzy, fatigued, and perspiring heavily. This was likely due to her non-adherence to her prescribed medication. Poor weight management and alcohol consumption. She was kept overnight for observation. So we've told the story about why she came into our hands. Then we're going to the details. We talked about she has the BMI, she recently dieted, lost 2.6 kilos. Right, okay, we've mentioned that she goes on the two positive things. So they've put those positive things together. You understand? There's a reason why they're together. It's not just here, there, and everywhere. There's a reason because they're both positive. She drinks 5 glasses of wine, and her diet consists mainly. Okay. In order to achieve the ideal weight and BP, will need to reduce her alcohol intake and maintain a low-fat diet. She would also benefit from 30 minutes of daily exercise. So it's just informing the dietitian what outcome we would like. Here is the real request. I would be grateful if you could prepare a long-term dietary plan for Mrs. Fagan, in addition to encouraging her to lead a healthier lifestyle and maintain her medication. She has been provided with a BP diary, which you will bring to her appointment. Should her BP remain unchanged, an ACE inhibitor ought to be discussed with her GP. That's advanced English. Who she needs to visit on a more regular basis. So we're sort of getting the dietitian involved in her care. Okay. And I suppose the GP is going to say, make sure you go and see the dietitian frequently. So that whole idea. Please don't hesitate to contact me with any queries. Yours sincerely. All right. So there's some quite advanced type of English. You don't need to write like that, but you need to keep it simple and well organized. This is a tough one, guys. And I want you, by yourselves, when it comes online as a recorded version, I want you to go back to the notes and have a try at writing it yourself, because it's very important to get it right and get the things connected well, to get the paragraphs nicely organized, then the prioritizing and organizing that long request paragraph. So it's very challenging, one of the most challenging ones we've had. Now, let's move on, quickly talk about cohesive devices, which are things that we use to connect things. Now, one of the most common things we use are conjunctions, but we don't want to go overboard. And you see, we didn't have anything super. So there are some, and some are used For emphasis, things like even though. Of course, we've got great ones like although, since, so, you know, whatever. And then we've got the basic ones, and, but, yet, so. Okay, take a photo of that, or take a print screen. And then we've got the relative pronouns, who, which, when, whose, which we use, especially in our first paragraph. Okay, and we've got those relative clauses. Dr. Smith, who's been practicing for over 40 years, is both up to date and open to some of the more radical therapies. So we have that relative clause with the who that is adding extra information about Mr. Smith, about Dr. Smith. But we could, the sentence is still fine without it. Dr. Smith is both up to date and open. But we're just adding that extra. That's why it belongs within those little commas. Now, here's some examples. St. Thomas's, which is the biggest city in hospital in the city, is seriously understaffed. Okay, so we're talking about a thing, in this case, a hospital. Dr. Spivey, whose work on Lyme disease has been widely published, will be giving a talk this evening. So we're talking about something that belongs to Dr. Spivey. The accident and emergency department, where our patients are triaged, is in dire need of extra seating. So we're talking about the place. Okay. St. Thomas's could be a place. Definitely. Now, look at how all these ideas can be compressed into one sentence. So we've got Mrs. Hammer, felt weak. Her blood pressure dropped suddenly. She sat down. She put her head between her legs. And putting her head between her legs made her feel better after 15 minutes. We need to connect that into one sentence. How is it done? Well, this is one way. Mrs. Hamer, who was suffering from weakness as a result of sudden onset low blood pressure, remedied the problem by sitting with her head between her legs for 15 minutes, and then she felt better. There's lots and lots of ways of connecting those things. The idea is to connect them. Yeah. And throughout all our letters, I want you, when you go back and see the recorded version, look at connecting things, how they're put together. Now, we've got a couple of minutes to have a go here with writing these. I'm going to just get down the chat line. There's lots of things I need to look at, and putting them in one sentence using a relative who, which, again with the commas if necessary. That's interesting, Ring. Ring was saying about the case notes. That's very interesting. It says encourage her to visit the GP. Interesting. It mentioned it at the end, Philip, in the request to make sure that she is, so rather than saying that she wasn't compliant, it was added in the last paragraph, asking the dietitian to, let's say, remind her to use it. Oh, look at this stupid thing. Come on. Can we join? You could join. You could, in a way, Sharp. Every time it's different. Every time it depends on you. And so there's no right or wrong. If you think it would be better to have it all in one, please do. But the second part was really almost warning or advising the dietitian in advance what the patient, in your opinion, needed to do. So, I think the, who's this one here? Reza, yes, about the exercise, you wouldn't apply during the country walks because it's everyday exercise. Okay, which she can do as well as her country walks on the weekend. But you've got the BP at the bottom, then BP at the top. I will probably try and get the BPs together there. All right. Carry on. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Well, Emilia, you wouldn't increase her exercise regime. Advise her. Okay, because it's not the dietitian that's increasing her exercise, the patient herself has to do it. Okay, so let's have a quick look at some of the answers though. Yeah, I thought you wouldn't presume. They're not really presuming there. Look at all these discussions, guys. We could be here for days talking about all this. So thanks everybody. Marvin, lovely to have you with us. Marciel. Okay, probably, yes, I can see you. Yes, probably we would have started there really with the which. PTSD, which is prevalent among ex-servicemen, should be treated with medication and therapy. All right. His heartburn, which was worse after meals containing wheat, was alleviated with OTC medication. Mary's rash, which got itchy every time she went swimming, was very painful. So we're always talking about something, and that's why we've got the which. Now, we're getting to the end here, guys. Just to remind you that I'm supposed to be doing it myself. I'm going to do one. Not that I'm going to win anything, but I want to take part in it. I want to feel connected with everybody, and I think it's fun. I don't know if you can do more than one. Reza tried before, but she could perhaps do another one if you need the $10 voucher. But anyway, it's just part of the whole thing. And as you said, I said you can put it on Instagram or you can upload it on the E2 Language Facebook page. But I would send it either using this link or the link, or just sending it to help@e2language.com and uploading it. Okay, it's only 20 seconds, no more than that. They don't want anything more. So think about what you're going to say first, and you can do as many takes as you like. Your language hasn't got to be perfect, so don't worry. And here's just a few links there. Don't forget, everybody, to look at we talked about the OET Facebook this week on Tuesday, 5 to 6 Eastern, Australia Eastern Standard Time. Okay, there's the E2 Language blog. Very interesting articles about writing. Go to our blog. I don't think we've got a link there, and I haven't got one. I should have put you one, but anyway, there's the E2 Language blog. Just go to Google. There's the E2 Language YouTube channel with lots of great things on that. There's the OET YouTube channel too. And there's, of course, Rebecca then talking on the OET YouTube channel, going through the new case notes for nurses writing, and then analysing the selection of the case notes, and then organising the letter. 15 minutes, well worth it. So our blog, the E2 Language blog, the E2 Language Facebook page, the E2 Language YouTube channel. Okay, but we've got the OET YouTube channel for Rebecca and the writing. Okay, so lots of things to keep connected with and to spend your time this week. Guys, look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday, hopefully also during a tutorial. And for those who it's Sunday morning, have a wonderful Sunday. For those who's it's already afternoon, have a nice evening and great Monday to everybody. And just keep up, keep up the whatever. And the exam isn't far away, but especially for those on Saturday. And of course, for those people who take the exam on Saturday, we'd love to see you next week to hear something about it. Yes, that's it. Come back and tell us how it went. So Wednesday week, I want you to tell us all about the speaking. Sunday week, I want to tell us all about the writing, if you've got a moment. Okay, become part of our happy family here. All right, you can see from the darkness, the sun's gone down where I am, and that's it for the day. So it's been great. And guys, I appreciate all the hard work you've put into your test today, into your exam, into, everything you've done. I'm looking really forward to seeing you in a tutorial. As I said, if you can't get me potluck, just write to our helpline and they will give you the time that you can book for me. So I'm trying to be available as much as possible. Okay, my gym is opening this week, so I have a few hours less. Yeah, because I need to exercise a bit. Yes, get my BMI down. All right, everybody. Have a lovely week and see you on Wednesday, if not before. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody, for the lovely comments. Yes, you take care and keep safe too. Yes, we've forgotten all that.